You've got a lot of over-the-counter regulatory experience, and it's very recent. What are you seeing in the new administration that changes how that's going to play out?
There's a couple things. So the new administration is definitely has espoused the view that getting things over the counter is increased access for patients, which there are arguments on both sides of that, right? There's the idea that if a drug goes over the counter, then you have to pay for it out of pocket. It's no longer reimbursed by insurance. And so maybe that's increased access, but maybe it isn't. We saw that with the OTC switch of naloxone. But the other side of it is if it's OTC, anyone can go get it, right? It's just going to be on the shelf in the health section of your pharmacy. So there's a couple things. One recent regulation that finally went into effect is the additional condition of non-prescription use rule, which is a rule that allows companies that couldn't get their products OTC on a label alone to introduce another kind of factor into the patient selection process to help patients select the right drug. So for example, if you have like a statin or something that may have risk factors for certain patient types, you could create an online quiz that the patient takes that they have to answer the questions, and if they answer the questions in the way that is safe for them to use the drug, they get a code which they can then put into a kiosk or give to the pharmacist and then access the drug. I think we are going to see a lot of drugs using this pathway in the next couple of years. FDA definitely has some drug categories in mind that they really would like to switch to OTC. And so I do think we're going to see companies innovating in this space. There are some real questions inside of the ACNU rule, especially around generics, because the rule does allow the prescription generics to stay on the market, which is not consistent with previous views of OTC switch. And then there's also the question of how many of these different ACNUs a retailer can manage. Because if you've got patients coming in all the time, with different online quizzes, different kiosks, different questions for the pharmacist, what kind of burden does that put on the retailer? So I think that's going to be a place where we see a lot of change and a lot of innovation going forward.